Hello. So I've been trying to get more into reading lately because obviously it's so good for you, and I think it's a lot better than me just scrolling on my phone. And what I love about it is I just feel like it can give you so many more new insights and just change your perspective and help you to think about things in a different way. And so I kind of wanted to share three books that I feel kind of just helped me rewire my brain. So starting off, the first book is called The Four Agreements. And I would say it's really easy to read. It's really small, obviously. And I think something I noticed is how a lot of our suffering and conflict in life comes from beliefs that we adopted as children. It kind of talks about how when we're kids, society, parents, teachers, they kind of, we make agreements with these beliefs and we kind of internally accept them as truth. Those beliefs then are kind of how we respond to life. And by making these new agreements or beliefs, it can help you to kind of be freed from any self-limiting beliefs through making the new ones. And so the four ones they go over are: be impeccable with your word, speak with integrity, say only what you mean, avoid using the word to speak against yourself or gossip with others, use the power of your word in the direction of truth and love. I think that's obviously a really good thing to just live by. And the second one is don't take anything personally. Nothing others do is because of you. What others say and do is a projection of their own reality, their own dream. When you are immune to the opinions and actions of others, you won't be the victim of needless suffering. I think that one was a really good one for me, because I think sometimes you can have interactions with people and you're well, why did they do that to me? Or why did this happen? But most of the time it really isn't personal. It's just people projecting their own experiences or their own issues onto you. And I think that's a really good thing to remember, is nothing others do is really because of you most of the time. Third agreement is don't make assumptions. Find the courage to ask questions and express what you really want. Communicate with others as clearly as you can to avoid misunderstanding, sadness, and drama. With just one agreement, you can completely transform your life. I think this one is also good, of not making assumptions, because sometimes we can try to mind read of what other people are thinking or why they're doing certain things or whatever it may be. So I think that's another really great thing to live by. And then the fourth is always do your best. Your best is going to change from moment to moment. It will be different when you are healthy as opposed to sick, and basically under whatever circumstances, whatever quality it is, just always do your best. I don't feel like I'm great at explaining this, but I would recommend reading this. I think it's really valuable and can help shift the way that you think about things. And then I think when you have that awareness of patterns that you might be stuck in, it can help you kind of challenge those thoughts and get out of that. The next book I wanted to share was Inner Bonding. It's called Inner Bonding: Becoming a Loving Adult to Your Inner Child. For me, I found this really valuable because growing up, I didn't always trust myself or my judgment, and I had a lot of self-doubt. And basically this kind of talks about how we have an inner adult part of our personality, which is the logical, rational mind, and then we have the inner child, which is the gut instinct feeling aspect of our mind. And sometimes the two can become disconnected, and that can create internal conflict, and it kind of gives you tools and guides on how to like create more dialogue. Like that sounds kind of strange, but like dialogue between like the logical side of you and your gut instincts, to kind of reconnect with that and kind of regain that self-trust. And it also kind of goes over self-limiting beliefs as well, so it kind of goes hand in hand. There's a lot of examples too, and sometimes it can be a little repetitive or like too many examples, but I think it's really great, and it kind of gives like diagrams of like if you're closed off to your inner child versus if you're open to it, and bringing the two together. And I think like journaling and kind of reflecting on this while I read it was really valuable to me. I think they also might have like a guided journal version of this, but I'm not sure. And then the last book I want to talk about is kind of different than those two, but I think it's something that I read recently that I enjoyed. It's The White Album by Joan Didion. It's about basically her experience in California in the 60s. I believe she was like, I don't know if she was like a journalist or like a reporter, but she kind of shares all these different experiences she had, and like observational, and like notices the details and like all these different contradictions that kind of come up during that era of time, and kind of like these dualities, I guess. I just found it really interesting, and like one of the quotes is like, we tell ourselves stories in order to live, and that's kind of like a big theme of this book. Anyways, I just want to share those because I think they were really interesting and kind of helped me change my perspective in some way, or added value to my life in some way. Yeah, and if you have any book recs for me, let me know.